What is up, guys? Today we're going to be unboxing the Pixel 5a here. So this is Google's latest mid-ranger that they are putting out for 450 bucks. You can go ahead and pre-order it down below. Shout out to Google and the Team Pixel team for sending this one out to me early. So let's go ahead and jump into it. So as far as, just this being a very minor upgrade compared to the just the previous Pixel phone. All right, let's get this off. So Google calls this color mostly black, and it's definitely like a very strange looking kind of black, but it's like has a green sort of tint to it here. It's a very nice color, but yeah, definitely strange. So the naming scheme is always to me funny with these Pixel phones here. But the body on here is actually now, it's a metal body, which is really nice because the phone feels super solid, but Google has wrapped it sort of like in this soft sort of rubbery kind of plastic thing here, and it looks really nice. It does not pick up fingerprints as I'm seeing, so that is awesome too. We got our fingerprint dual camera setup here, Google logo, texturized power button on here now, and we have your volume rockers here. We also have a headphone jack up top, as well as for the stereo speaker setup and USB Type-C. And yeah, let's go ahead and see what else we have in the box. Just your normal stuff here. We have your paperwork, and then we have our SIM ejection tool here, and then we have our USB-C, then our dongle here. We also have our power brick on here. Alright, so we're all set up here, and one thing I forgot to mention is this phone is IP67 dust and water resistant, which is really awesome. So you can get this phone wet and it won't break immediately, which is nice here. So as we can see, the display is just slightly bigger than the 4A at 6.34 inches. It's a full 1080p display at 413 for the PPI, and it's a very nice OLED panel here. Colors look really good. You can see we have our little punch hole on the left hand side, and overall I don't have any complaints with the display here. So again, another thing to mention, and we'll get into that comparison with the A52 5G, because I think that's one of the main phones it's sort of competing with this year. And that phone does have a high refresh rate display at 120 Hertz. Now this one does not. So that's pretty interesting that they opted not to go with that. And I think they were going with that maybe for battery concerns, or maybe because of the new Pixel 6 is going to have a 90 Hertz. So they wanted to sort of make a price difference there, or a reason for you to get that Pixel 6. Now, if you don't know and you never use a Pixel phone, out of the box you're running the pure stock version of Android, and it's extremely smooth on here. I mean, it's buttery smooth, and this is how Android is intended to run. If you don't know, it's just super basic. So as far as like software features and little stuff, your screen recording is on here. Let's see if we have anything else on here. It's really just your basic stuff. So you already know with stock Android, it's just going to be smooth. You're not going to have all of that little extra stuff on here. Your dark mode, of course, is on here, but it's very clean, which is something that a lot of people really like. Basically the whole thing with that is that you get updates extremely fast with these Pixel phones, and you get a 3-year update. So the phone launched with Android 11, 12, 13, 14. You're guaranteed an update up to Android 14, and you'll get them very fast. So it's not like with other Android phones, it kind of takes a minute to get the next OS update. If you buy a Pixel phone, you get the update super fast. Alright, so the Pixel 5a is running the Snapdragon 765G on here. You get 128 gigs of internal storage on the base model, and you also get 6 gigs of RAM on here. And the phone runs perfectly smooth. So for gaming, it's pretty much the same chip. You're not getting a upgrade here. But for a mid-range chip, this is perfectly fine. You can see my settings for Call of Duty Mobile, and of course, as always, I'll drop a full gaming test for you guys. I'm gonna play at max FPS, no issue here, and everything's good. So really no issues. I haven't had zero issues with this phone getting hot at all. So it does not get warm even with just daily use, web browsing, doing little hard tasks like gaming. This phone does a pretty good job at just not heating up, which is something that's awesome. Now you do have stereo speakers on this phone, and they actually sound really good. A lot of depth, a lot of bass. Just a ton of bass with these speakers, and it just sounds really solid. So if you were curious, no, there is nothing coming out of this one. It's just this one and this one. This one is just here, just for design aesthetic, I'm guessing. Also, the vibrations on this phone, vibration and haptic feedback is pretty solid too. Yeah, so just a really nice solid pair of speakers on this phone. Alright, so just talking about the additional features, so you do have a physical fingerprint scanner on the back, and it's basically, you know, there's nothing new here. It works very fast. Now there is no option for face unlock on this phone, unfortunately. So I do like to have the option, the face unlock, so they kind of take it away, even though I know it's not as secure. I do like to have that option, but the physical fingerprint scanner does work fine, perfectly fine. So I have zero issues with that. And just the other additional features, you do have, again, IP67 dust and water resistant. This phone does lack wireless charging, which again is more of a flagship feature anyway. And you do have your headphone jack up top, which I'm really happy with. Alright, so next we have to talk about the cameras, because that's the main reason. I do still think this is going to be one of the best cameras that you can pick up for a mid-ranger. I think it's going to outperform the SE 2020. It's basically the same camera. For what I've seen, it just takes awesome, pretty much flagship quality photos still. It's a 12.2 megapixel standard, and then a 16 megapixel ultra wide, and then you have a 8 megapixel front camera as well. Video you can shoot in 1080p or 4K 30 or 60 FPS on here. And as you can see from the photos, you're just getting some super solid photos as far as image quality goes, color accuracy, dynamic range, depth of field. It is just a really nice camera. That is really what you're buying this phone for. That is the sort of highlight with this phone. It's just you're getting overall just beautiful quality photos, dynamic range. It's just really good. Just everything about the cameras on here is super solid. The ultra wide is very close to the main lens as far as quality. It just does a really great job here. So I just have zero complaints. Also, the night sight mode on here is really nice. This still takes some of the best nighttime photos. I'm just super impressed with is how it's able to just make everything look so clear and clean. And yeah, without it just doesn't bump up the ISO. It does a really good job with the night sight. So I'm just really impressed with that. Also, just overall video is pretty solid. I'll go ahead and let you see the video, the indoor and outdoor video. Alright guys, here is the video on the Pixel 5a here. Let me know how the mic sounds. It looks pretty smooth. Let's punch out to the ultra wide. Do 2x. Alright guys, here's the video on the Pixel. Let me know how the mic sounds, everything. You can bump out to our ultra wide as well. Yeah, so let me know what you guys think. Alright, so lastly we have to talk about battery life. So on this phone you do have a bigger battery. So it's a 4,680 milliamp battery with 18-watt fast charging out of the box. So basically, the interesting thing with the battery is that since there's no high refresh rate and the battery was already good on the 4A 5G, this one should definitely be better. And just watching it drain, you know, just using it, I can tell it's going to be already just an excellent battery performing phone. So do subscribe if you guys want to see more on the battery. I do want to do like a drain test to see the exact screen on time, because not having any type of high refresh rate with almost, you know, a 5,000 milliamp battery, you should get some really good screen on time here. So I'm really curious about that. But yeah, so overall I think they made some really good tweaks here with this phone here, just overall redoing the body as far as giving you a, you know, metal body here. And also I think the color is pretty cool on this one. You know, IP67 dust and water resistant, a nice tweak here. And also overall just giving you the bigger battery life is just it's a small tweak with this phone, but definitely I'm not complaining. I think it's definitely, if you're a fan of the series, you're gonna like the little tweaks that they made with this one. So what do you guys think? Be sure to let me know, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.